So everybody, this is my Sally Paul. Leslie's probably doing something. She's busy, but she might hear it. Uh,
I
yeah,
can hear you guys. I can hear you guys. Hi, Paul. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm getting cat litter.
all right. Let me see if I can turn Paul's volume up a little bit. Say something, bro.
Okay. Let me see if I
Not
can turn it up here too.
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yep, you're good now.
Okay.
yep,
Cool.
yep. You're good, brother. You're good. So, man, before we even get started, man, just real quick, man, introduce yourself, brother. Like, like, hold on, let me see if I can adjust this so we're all like on a key. There we go. Um, hey, introduce yourself, brother. Like, you know what I mean? I've talked about you on here, so like, but just introduce yourself, man. If you don't mind, just kind of tell people what you went in for and how much time and how you came home and stuff, bro.
Okay. My name's Paul Kane. I did almost 29 years on a 15 to life sentence in the state of California. When I was 24 years old, I took a man's life in downtown San Diego. Um, and then I went on the run when the authorities found out about the homicide. And I heard that they were looking for me. I went on the run to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. I ended up getting deported from Mexico. Imagine that. Um, when I first walked onto the prison yard at 24 years old, I fit right in. I was I wasn't looking to be a blessing in anyone's life. I was just looking for a fight. Uh, and at that age, I found it over and over again. I think it was the governor. I think it was Gray Davis at the time. I mean, not that I didn't deserve the sentence that I got, because I did. But he said that the only way a first or second degree murderer was ever going to parole was in a pine box. So it was like abandon all hope, all ye who enter here. For decades, when I first went to prison, there was nobody that had any hope if they had the type of sentence that I had. So you walked onto a level 4 prison yard, and that was the reality of your life, of your existence. And I'm just moving for my roommate here. Thanks, Paul. Um, Looking back in hindsight, I put myself through hell. I put myself through. I ever went through. Uh, you know, and it took me a long time to see my way out of the mess that I walked myself into. For a long time, it was like I didn't know where to start. Um, they say heal the boy and the man appears, and really, you know, going through a lot of programs just by trial and error. I went through this one program. It was called self reconstruction therapy, and to go back, revisit some of the things that happened when I was, knee high to a grasshopper. Some of my earliest memories were extreme violence and domestic violence and abuse. Um, and what that caused in my young mind was this condition where I didn't feel right unless I was doing wrong, because it's how I got back at my dad for hurting my mom. And when I heard him come home after a hard day's work, and somebody told him something I'd done, and he'd go, "He did what?" Inside, I'd be like, "Yeah, I got you, for motherfucker, for what you've been doing to mom." I wouldn't care what he did to me. it brought me joy to feel like I was hurting him for hurting her. And the older I got, the more that morphed into criminal thinking and addiction to violence. And I ran away at 16. Uh, my parents signed me into the army at 17, and by 24 years of age, I had taken a man's life, uh, and then ran from the responsibility for doing so. Um, you know, you know, it was educating myself that enabled me to change my lens and start looking at the world through other people's eyes. Start looking at the world through the victim's eyes, the victim's family's eyes, my family's eyes. Uh, I had a young daughter. She was 6 months old when I took this man's life, and I, for all intents and purposes, took myself out of her life, and it may have even been a blessing uh, that she didn't know or get to know that person that I used to be, because it freed some space for her to figure out who I am today. Um, I've been to board 4 times. Uh, I think the first time that I walked into the boardroom, the commissioner told me, "You got a 15-year denial, Kane, unless you can tell us why you don't deserve it." And like 3 hours later, I came out with a 5-year denial. And then they just kept giving me 5-year denial after 5-year denial until I finally was found suitable in 2024. Um, I've been here. I've been free since March 13th, 2024. It hasn't been perfect. Uh, I'm connected to other men who have similar stories, such as myself. There's really like a big network of us, probably like going on 50 or 60 men in the Southern California area alone who are ex-lifers. Uh, Probably about over a third of whom I know personally. Um, Today, my life has a purpose. My life has meaning. I am that man who's looking to be a blessing in someone else's life. I'm a man of peace. Uh, when I was in prison, uh, prior to my being found suitable, I asked myself, what is humility, and how do I build it in my life? And I figured out by asking myself that question that kindness is a practice, and it's like a habit. And if you can be kind in an austere Spartan setting like a maximum security level 4 prison in the state of California, you can be kind anywhere. You can be kind to anyone, and you might not at first. It's like any habit. Like if you start brushing your teeth with your left hand, it's going to seem awkward. It doesn't feel right. You don't think you can do it, but if you just stick it out within within a matter of weeks, all of a sudden you're the guy who's liking to be kind. You're the guy who's looking forward to doing the next act of kindness. You're the guy that has grown and has taught yourself a new habit. Kindness is like that, especially for a guy like me or others like me who, for a long time, we were our own worst enemies. Um, that's me in a nutshell. And these are, it's these are aspects of myself that today that I value, and what you value the most, you repeat the most in your life. I've come to realize, because you can say you're sorry, but go on and continue in the same behavior you've been doing all along, and that kind of shows that you're not. Talk is cheap. Um, it was like when I first, for example, when I first stepped onto the prison yards. For going on two decades, I couldn't go 6 months without a write up. You know, Socking somebody, making some wine, uh, doing drugs, getting in a fight, uh, and then I went 9 years clean. And to the parole board, who's the ultimate arbiter of your fate, uh, that spoke volumes above and beyond anything I could say to them. Uh, it showed that there was a heart change. Um, and that served me well. Um, Many people played a vital role in my being found suitable. Um, Scott Budnick of the Anti-Recidivism Coalition, Catherine Hoke of the Five Ventures. That was hands down the most impactful program I'd ever been involved with anywhere, let alone on a maximum security 180 prison yard in Kern Valley State Prison. Uh, that was an 8-month intensive program centered on small business ideation, character development, and entrepreneurship. And we took over 100 courses. There were New York Times best-selling authors, Harvard business professors, um, best-selling the producer of The Hangover, the gentleman who paid for us. There was 70 of us who took this course at $500 a head. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it's the doorbell Ring, but this guy Jamie Siminoff, he's the inventor of the Ring doorbell.
Absolutely.
And he paid for all 70 of us to take this course, and then he brought all 80 of his employees into Kern Valley State Prison to hold mock interviews and pitch competitions with us.
That's awesome.
The worst of the worst. And during him doing that, because his whole thing was the Ring doorbell is a security thing. He's stopping crime because you can answer the door like as if you're home, even if you're at work or you're across the country. And it basically is a security, it's a crime prevention. And then he came in to give back to further prevent crime, because Catherine Hope, she's the CEO of the Five Ventures. Her whole thing was transform that street hustle you had into legitimate hustle and become a success in life. And hands down, changed the way I deal with people, changed the way I deal with problems or things that are begging for a solution in my life. And that course basically took me from a fixed mindset and helped me switch to a growth mindset and change my whole life. I could go on and on. I've had some college professors that were impactful. I earned 4 college degrees while I was in prison. And that's not saying anything, man. For a lot of years, I only took like one or two courses a semester. And then, at one point in my journey, I looked at myself and I thought, hey, there's kids out there on the streets. They got a full-time job, they got a girlfriend, and they're taking 5 classes, man. And here I am sitting in prison, and I'm getting this opportunity. What am I doing walking for? Run. And I started to run. I started to take 5 and 6 classes a semester. Uh, I pushed myself. Stopped watching TV. I started reading books instead. Uh, and it was the some of the most difficult things I've ever done were at that point in my life. I took Japanese, and I'll tell you what, Japanese is a hard ass language to learn for anybody trying to learn a new language. Japanese has Japanese has 2 different alphabets, hiragana and katakana. And hiragana is all feminine and Japanese words, and katakana is all masculine and non-Japanese words like hamburger or McDonald's. That's what, and in their language, and hey, and in their language, every one of the characters that they write there's a stroke order. You have to know the stroke order of the character, and you're tested on it. And if you get it out of order, you fail. And I mean, this class alone right here, hey, it was so hard that like half the class dropped out. And the teacher would test you. She'd pull you up, sit you in a chair with her in front of the class, and start talking to you in Japanese. And the only thing that saved me was that I'm fascinated with the Japanese culture and some of the concepts that I was familiar with from the martial arts, like Bushido and their philosophies. Um, and I stuck it out, and I got a B in the class. You know,
Fuck,
and it showed me that man, you might want to fail, just keep going,
right.
just keep going. You might think you're going to fail, but just keep trying, just keep trying. And I had to develop that mental muscle in terms of the board, because my past in prison, I mean, I had 26 serious write-ups. That's as many. That's almost as many years as I've done in prison.
Right. Oh, it's like one year.
The saving grace was I had gone 9 years clean. That's what they wanted to see. Uh, that's what my attorney told me they were looking for. And I mean, I don't. For the average listener, I don't know if you. I mean, for those guys who've been there, that's a feat. For a guy like me that couldn't go 6 months without socking somebody, that's a feat. I had to learn how to. I had to learn how to become an expert at how to deal with difficult people in a positive, powerful, or productive way. I had to make a better choice. I had to risk being creative rather than being violent. I had to expect the best of myself. I had to um, put myself last. I told myself, hey, Paul, I said, would you take an ass whooping to be with your family again? I asked myself that question. And the answer was wholeheartedly, hell yeah, in a minute. You
Right.
know, would you take an ass whooping to kiss your daughter, to hold her, to be there for your granddaughter? Absolutely, 100%. And I used to like at my worst run all these scenarios through my head. Well, if this happens, I got to do this. If this happens, I got to do that. And you know what? None of those scenarios I would say like out of 10 of those scenarios, 9 of them never happened. You know, and it's catastrophic thinking is what it is. Our minds go to the worst case scenario, and then that's what we roll with, which is not smart.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you know, um,
You know,
it's like
go
go ahead.
ahead, brother. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, my mind goes to like some of the people that it's like I had a good friend, Jason LaMarche. Uh, he was just a kid, and he was involved in a multiple murder. I think 4 people were executed in this house. It was having to do. It was like people were squatting in some guy's property and refusing to leave. And this dude that whose property it was, he was tipped up. He was no joke, and long story short, like Jason, my friend Jason, we worked in the kitchen together, and we used to like question each other. We used to ask each other board questions, and we'd hold like little mock boards, me to him and him to me, and he's still in there, man. He got found suitable before me, and then the governor took his date, and he has had, I think, 3 hearings since, and they haven't found him suitable again. And the guy was better than me, bro. Sharper than me, uh, kinder than me, more peaceful than me. And my heart goes out to the guys that are still in there like that. And it's definitely been. I mean, life is a journey, and you're either growing or you're dying. You know, you, you might be at a standstill, um, but the balance usually tips one way or the other. And like what we do is important. How we treat others is important. What we say is important. Uh, yeah, man. As you can tell, I could probably go on and on about this.
No, rightfully so, bro. I mean, and I want to say this real quick, man. Like, I told the story about Manos, you know,
Yeah.
and Paul
Well,
knows Manos, you know what I mean, and what happened, what Manos did, you know, Paul could have easily went out like that, but I was his cellie for almost 4 years. We had a fucking sparrow, me and him, the whole time we were cellies. His name was Reagan. Fucking sparrow. We nursed this thing back to health and fucking yeah. Anyways, but I digress. This man is a good man, and I knew that if anybody could get out, I knew Paul would get out, man. And when they started releasing people, man, and I was in contact with his family, and I found out he was getting out, man, I was so fucking happy. And you know, it's awesome to see him out because if anybody deserves it, he does. And I know his story, and how he got to where he was at and the reasons why he was where he was at. And you know, I'm just gonna say there, he got done wrong, man. In this situation, and but he served his time like a fucking man, and he did what he had to do to get out, and did it the honorable way, and man, you can't do nothing but respect it. And
I'd like to say this too, like the victim uh, and victims in general. Um, no one deserves to die. No one deserves to have their life taken in the callous manner that I took somebody's life. I committed a crime. Uh, one of the main things that the board wanted to be reassured about is that I would never do it again. And I was wrong, you know, to take a man's life like that. And the the cause and effect and the ramifications of committing such a crime, you live with it for the rest of your life. Um, and I mean, God didn't make me judge and jury, and you know what they say: hurt people, and at the time that I committed that crime, I'm just so thankful that like the latest in brain science has come out with like trauma informed care, and like asking kids today, hey, why did you do that? What happened to you to make you want to do that? You know, because in most instances, and I mean this is accounting for sociopaths and psychopaths, because you and I have seen people who they're going to get out and do it again. You
Unfortunately,
know, they haven't learned their lesson,
unfortunately,
unfortunately, and those are the ones that ruin it for everybody. But in most instances, the more you know about someone's life, the clearer the picture gets as to exactly why they did what they did. And that was the case with me. You know, it's like I said earlier, what you value the most, you repeat the most. And in my 20s, I valued being able to inflict pain on somebody else. You know, and but that's a short-sighted loser's bet. You know, and it's going to come back to haunt you in the end. Uh, I mean, like today, if somebody comes up to me and they say, "Hey, man, thank you. You changed my life. You know, what you said to me today stuck. You know, that hits me in a way that is fulfilling. It's gratifying. Calls me forward into the best that life has for me. You know, and I just want to say that because a lot of times we forget to advocate for the victims. And it's still fresh in my mind. It's like when I got here to San Diego, I went to the scene of the crime, and I said a prayer, called my mom up, and I shed a tear, and I prayed for the victim's soul, uh, and it felt like the right thing to do. It felt like the logical next step. Because he never got a second chance. You know, I took all that from him. You know, and that's remorse. And today I have remorse. Today I have empathy for others. Today I have a heart for others. And it might not be the popular thing, but it's definitely the right thing for me. That's the thing too. Like to break out of these self-destructive mindsets, these self-limiting beliefs, these warped beliefs. You have to be willing to do the right thing, even when it hurts you, even when it hurts your heart, even when you don't feel like it, even when nobody else is doing it. That's strength. Anybody can hurt somebody, man. You and me have both seen plenty of instances where someone gets hurt very easily. And man, Yeah, that's about what I wanted to say right there.
Yeah, man. No, I totally understand what you're saying, bro, and you're absolutely right, bro. I mean, and having dealing with Anthony's death and stuff, I understand that even more now. Um,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I I want you to know that you're getting a lot of love in the chat. I've been trying not to put the comments like this. Let me show you. Uh, let me see. I've been trying not to throw those up there because I didn't want to distract you. But people are showing you a lot of love in the chat, man, and I want
it's
I want you to know that, man. And I dropped a short earlier, and me and Paul. Somebody asked if you have a YouTube channel. We're working on that. We're working on that. I don't, I don't know if Paul's planning on having one or not, but we'll talk about that. But um, I definitely, want to do a podcast with him, and we've talked about that, and we're gonna do something, maybe every other week or something. And he's definitely got a lot of information. Not only his story is powerful, but he's got a lot of information that I'm sure can help people that maybe need to hear it, And so I thought, maybe every other week or something, me and him can do something together. So, you know,
love to.
yeah, for sure, brother.
Not
Yeah,
only that, Joey, but you've told me some instances where your stories together are pretty darn funny.
yeah,
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, you guys are dorks.
yeah. But
Yeah, that bird we had, man. The opportunity to have a pet like that, and to see like how these small creatures that God created have these personalities, and it's like I actually had the opportunity while I was incarcerated to see the Birdman in Alcatraz, and that prompted me to get his autobiography and research the guy. His name was Paul Stroud, and I think he had a second grade education, and he went on to write a book on the domestication of sparrows, uh, and it's still the number one textbook that vets use today to treat small birds, sparrows and finches.
holy shit,
Uh,
bro. Are you serious? I didn't know that.
this guy did it from Alcatraz,
That's insane.
you know, and yeah, he was. I think he did. I want to say it's either 40 or 60 years. Yeah, but his stories his story is something. I mean, that black and white movie, you don't even make movies like that anymore. That movie has a message. Burt Lancaster.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
but for us to be able to it opened up aspects of my heart and probably your heart that were dormant. Love, tenderness, kindness. And care. We had to be like ninjas in the cell with that little bird because he was under everything.
Oh yeah, man. He was a nut, man. And then when the cops would come in, we were fortunate to have some good building cops that, for a while there, man. And man, but when they would go in there to search, he would be dive bombing them, man. They knew he was in there, so like they knew he was gonna dive bomb them, but they would just look around real quick and hurry up and get the fuck out of there. And they would even slowly close the door and make sure he was good.
Well,
Oh man. Hey, he was I get what
I love that little guy.
yeah, man. I get what Paul's saying, man, because it was crazy when we got him. We had to nurse him back to health and life. And, he was stuck to a sticky rat trap and one of those sticky ones, you know what I mean? And a brother of ours, brought it back to us, and we ended up, keeping it, nursing it back to health, and ended up being a boy. But just to watch him know naturally, instinctively, what he needed to do, what he needed, without ever having a fucking mom around or anything to, and I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. We had to do a little bit of research and figure out what we had to get for him and stuff, but it was just crazy to watch him naturally learn and do what he does naturally. It was just a trip, man. And it was cool having.
Yeah, some stuff off the internet.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I remember that. Yeah,
I was like taking care of a little baby.
yeah, bro. It was crazy, bro. That was cool, man. Old Reagan, man. I hope he did all right, man, when he flew away, man. I hope he did all right, man. He was a tough little fucker, bro. So I'm pretty sure he made it, all right, man. I'm sure he did all right. But yeah, man. Um, I'm excited, bro, that you're out, man, and doing good and just handling your business, bro. And it's like I said, man, you were one person. I've been celled up with a lot of lifers, man, and you were one of them that I really felt deserved to come home, man. And I knew if you did, you weren't gonna go back. You know what I mean? And I really believe that in my heart. And,
Yeah,
and and we got a lot of people who have come home, man. Mike, fucking Monkey, man, he's doing good, and he lost his mom right after he got out, man, and he stuck through it, man, and made it through that. And bro, like, I don't know, man, I'm just glad he got to get, come home before she passed. But just a lot of people we know are out now, man, and it's crazy.
and there's a lot to be gained from what you're doing and what you're planning on doing, because we're all going through similar circumstances uh, in life, similar situations in our minds, similar hurdles, similar things come up, and it helps to know you're not alone. It helps to know that you're not the only one going through it. It helps to know that what you're going through is in fact common, and it helps to have somebody help you mitigate it. You know, yeah, it's like I've got a huge support network, and family that love me. And I got a couple friends that, like you, their family has passed. A couple of my good friends. It's like when they got out, they had no family. And they're the ones I call brother. They're the ones that they can call. To them, I'm a 3 a.m. friend. You can call me anytime. If you need something, I'm there for you. If it's in my power, I'll do it. And you know, I'm excited. I'm excited that there are people out there who are listening. You know, and I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity, man.
Of course, brother. Absolutely, brother. Um, yeah, of course, man.
I love you.
And
I love you guys.
hey, man, I love you too, brother. And it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you out, and I'm looking forward to talking to you more, man. And I think your message, man, has the potential to reach a lot of people, man. And so yeah, just your outlook and your read on things, bouncing things off you, topics and stuff, I think is amazing. I think it could be therapeutic for both of us and maybe help some people. And but I'm just glad to see you out, man, and doing good, man, and just keep it up, bro. And I'm here, man. If you need to talk or whatever, man, hit me up. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of good feedback in the chat, man. A lot of good feedback, man, and it's good to see, man. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Very good people, man. Like I said, I couldn't live with somebody for 4 years if they weren't, man. Damn, dude, it's crazy to think it was that long, man. Fuck, almost 4 years, man. It's wild, bro. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's great.
4 years and 6 months.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But how's everything where you're at, man? Everything's good?
After,
Yeah, the bathroom.
oh, everything's good, man. It's yeah, everything's good. Um, but I'm contemplating moving back to Los Angeles just because there's so much more available for guys like us up there in terms of adding to the support network.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot more opportunity too.
Uh, yeah, I'm also really giving a lot of thought because it's just a matter of time coming to Florida because my parents, they're getting up there in age. I talked to my mom the other day and talking about my dad needs a stint, uh, and I want to be there for them. Like they've been there for me all these years. That's something I've resolved to do. So uh, it's like my goal out here in California is to gain as much of an education as I can, and then take it with me. I don't plan on staying.
Right.
Just
No, I
because.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're laying down. Absolutely, brother. Yeah, might as well, man. But I mean, yeah, I mean, me and Leslie, I mean, as it stands right now, we're not going anywhere. So we're gonna be here in Florida. So um, so yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it'd be cool to get you out here, man. Um, Florida's
How far is
nice.
Port St. Lucie from?
From where?
How far is where you're at from Tampa?
Uh, like 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. It's not too far. Tampa's on the west coast, right, of Florida, or is it on the east coast?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's on the west coast. So yeah, we're in the middle of the state on the east coast of Florida. So we just have to shoot across.
Oh,
It ain't
okay.
that far. Yeah, it ain't that far. But
About San Diego to LA.
yeah, we may be moving out of the city though soon, closer to Tampa actually. So yeah, I'll
It's
talk to
not.
you off
It's
here.
not. We may. It's we will. It's just a. It's just we
Yeah,
just got a few more months here,
yeah.
and in this
I
lease
just
in
don't
this house, and
talk too much
it's
on
just
you.
too. Yeah, it's just too big of a house. We only had it here when my mom was here and my son was here. So now that they're back in Cali, so we're like, we don't need this much space. It's just too big of a place. I can't clean it all.
Yeah, bro, we
So,
got
but no.
a 4 bedroom, 2 bath house, dude. And we've been here since 2019, I'd say, except for 2 years. Out of that, we've been paying for all of it ourselves. So, for the most part, and it's a lot, bro. There's a lot that keeps going up every. So yeah, we're gonna bounce, and we got some other plans. So, but we're staying in Florida. So yeah, man. But
So
it's nice out here.
I'll be closer to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And you'll like it out here.
Absolutely.
You'll like it out here, Paul. It's nice out here. It's different, but you'll like it.
Yeah. And we'll make it a point, for sure to get together for absolutely once you get out here. I know Joey's going to be like, most certainly, he's going to be like, oh, we got to get up. Come on, let's go. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And
It's
I've been
really good
working.
to see you, Paul. It's really good to see you, dude. I'm glad things are working out for you. I'm glad things are going so well. I would hear so many stories between all of like throughout the years, and it's pretty cool to finally put a face, like a real face, not a 15-year-old
Right.
picture that he's got.
Right.
So we're proud of you, man. You're doing good. Good stuff.
I'm proud of
Good,
us.
yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Man,
I'm proud of you too, Leslie, for for what you represent in Joey's life too. Just want to say that.
Aw,
Especially,
I
I
appreciate
know,
that.
man. I know some of the things you guys have. So the hand you've been dealt, and my heart goes out to you.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It hasn't been easy.
yeah,
yeah, man. She's
here.
oh yeah, we live, bro. We're definitely live, bro. Yeah, don't say nothing too hot, bro. We live, bro. We definitely live, bro. We got almost 30 people watching right now. But yeah. Uh but hey, this podcast thing, man, and this channel, man, for sure. I'm full speed ahead, man. I'm not stopping on this channel. Um, you don't know this. I haven't talked to you
Yeah,
about this yet, but I there was a point where I kind of started talking about politics instead of prison and my story and everything, and that really messed the channel up bad. And it put me in the corner. Let's just say that it put me in the dunce corner, bro. YouTube wasn't having it. So so anyway, so I'm finally getting out of that, and I'm getting back to the roots of the channel, and I'm not stopping, bro. I'm gonna keep going, man, with this, and just because I know it helps people, man. I've gotten messages over the years, and I just know, and I know that your story would be impactful, and others would be impactful too, man. And yeah, anytime, man, you want to come up and hang out, or I definitely would like to interview you, bro. And just about
sure.
your life, your story, bro. I think it would be impactful. I think it could really touch a lot. I think a lot of people could relate, you know. So yeah,
I
man.
mean, everyone in here is like, I want to hear more about Paul's story. Paul sounds like such a good guy. I want to hear more about his background.
Yeah,
They're intrigued. So it's good stuff. And it's healing too, I think, to not only listen to you guys
Sure.
talk about this stuff, but I think for you guys in your own selves, I think it's very impactful for you too.
for sure.
I was sharing with Joey. I've got quite a few friends too that have some stories to share. I was talking to this guy. He's an ex-lifer, and he's studying physics. He's going for his master's degree. And the conversation we had that night, it was in the middle of a program, and he was coming back from a date, and I'm in the TV room, and we had like an hour and a half conversation, and we both said, "Hey, if uh, if this would have been filmed, we'd have probably blown people's minds, you know." And yeah, the opportunities are out there. Adversity makes for some interesting stories. And those of us that have overcome adversity in our life, it's and it's like I remember I was sitting in the cell, and I was watching an Ironman triathlon,
Hmm.
and this old man, he come across the finish line. He must have been in his late 70s. They said he had just had a heart transplant, and he had leukemia, and
Hmm.
he just completed the Ironman triathlon. And I thought to myself, the pain that man had to deal with, had to be off the charts. And here he is crossing the finish line in Hawaii, an Ironman competitor. And man, we have the capacity to do so much more than we give ourselves credit for, to endure, to inspire, you know, to overcome. And man, it's things like that like I'm like always on the lookout for, just in terms of motivating myself, being someone who can motivate others, you know, maybe switching from so much of a follower mindset to a leadership mentality. You know, yeah, man, it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. I agree, man. And yeah, I think, like I said, man, maybe start out with like 2 weeks. I mean, every 2 weeks we'll do something and we'll pick a topic, whatever, man. If there's something that you think, you want to bounce off and we'll talk about, we'll do that, whatever. I mean, we'll figure it out. But I'll take care of everything, man. But and then I'll teach you as we go, bro, because it's awesome learning all this shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not hard. So, you know what I mean? So I'll teach you. And then if you want, you can get your own channel and start pushing your channel and getting your subscribers, and you start telling your story there too, man. You know what I mean? And doing your thing, bro. That's what it's all about, bro. We got a nice community here, bro. Good people that really care, bro.
Yeah,
So I think it would be a good thing, man. And I don't know. I just think it'd be cool, man. So yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, Joey.
All right, brother. Hey, you go get some rest, man, and enjoy your evening, man. I know you've been busy today, man.
Y'all as well.
All
Hey,
right,
we'll
brother.
talk
You have a
soon.
Good night, Paul. We'll talk soon.
Hey, you
Good night.
guys have a good night as well. Love you
all
guys.
right, brother.
Thanks, bud.
Love you too,
Love you
bro.
too.
Man, salute to Paul, man. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to
I'm
cut
so
that
glad
out.
we came on.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that out of the live. I'm gonna chop that up and keep that part.
Mhm.